Good evening, everyone. Am I supposed to have a microphone? I don't think so. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our August 27th meeting of the Board of Education. It's 6:01 p.m. You could all, sorry, could we have a roll call?
Mr. Benitez?
Here.
Ms. Champagne? Here. Mr. Scott?
Here.
Ms. Stevens? Here. Mr. Nordstrom?
Here. Thank you. If you could all please stand and join me in our roll call. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Next item, staff, student, and community celebration, community partner recognition.
Okay. Dr. Nieto, you are on the screen, just so you know.
Okay.
I think, can you hear us, Dr. Nieto?
I can hear you fine.
Perfect, it's working just as we planned.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry I cannot be there in person.
Okay, so tonight is a community recognition. Before I get into that piece of tonight's agenda, though, just wanted to share with the board how we will continue to do our recognitions as we proceed throughout the course of the year. Tonight, we're going to start with community recognitions, and then next month, we will then turn it over to the building principals, and they will do what we've traditionally done, and they will be recognizing both staff and students from their respective buildings. And then the following month, I'll be back working with community organizations or community individuals, and we'll be recognizing them, and then we'll continue that process as we go. So just wanted to keep you up to speed on that. And so without further ado, I want to begin tonight to just have the pleasure, take a moment to recognize and honor one of our exceptional community members. Our school district thrives because of the dedication, passion, and hard work of individuals like board member and former Vice President Dr. Jorge Nieto. So today we are thrilled to recognize Dr. Nieto for all of his volunteerism and time and support of, first and foremost, our community members, our staff, our administration. He's been a great partner to work with. So with that, we have a plaque that eventually, Dr. Nieto, we will get to you, along with a certificate, but I would like to read the inscription on the plaque. In recognition of your 7 years of dedicated service to the district, on the District 126 Board of Education, and your steadfast commitment to the Zion-Benton community, your leadership and inspiration have significantly contributed to the district's outstanding growth. So on behalf of myself and the Board of Education and the administration, and I know many of the community, we have been honored to work with you and genuinely appreciate all of the time and effort that you have given to us. So we thank you for that, sir. I don't know if I briefed you on this, but you do have an opportunity to give a small speech. Or
Sure.
just have some words for us, so before we leave. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Well, first let me just say how grateful I am that you were able to accommodate me while I was not able to be there in person. I think that serving on the board has certainly been one of the greatest pleasures that I had being able to serve our community in the best way that we know how. I know that through our collective work, we were able to move forward our vision for a more successful outcomes for our students, a much better academic environment for our faculty and staff, and certainly in the ability to serve our community in a much more meaningful and impactful way. So for that opportunity, I am eternally grateful. And to my colleagues, of course, I am grateful for their wisdom, their advice, and the collaboration that we had as a group, I think that was a really exceptional thing to experience, and certainly a privilege to be a part of it. So with that, I just want to say thank you for the recognition. I feel it's my obligation to give back to the community, and for that reason, I am more than humbled by the recognition and the honor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Want to say anything, Deborah, before we-
Oh, of course.
I knew you would.
Of course, you can do that. Thank you, Dr. Nieto, as your commitment to education, the idea of data-driven decision-making, visionary leadership, commitment to equity, accountability. That was key in 2019 when we first met. That was a big word and something that you wanted to see in this administration and in this school district. Resource-driven leadership behaviors. That was also important. The return on that investment. You oftentimes remind us about that. The idea of community engagement, good governance practices, fiscal responsibility, continuous learning, how we learn as adults, making sure that we have systems for adult learners, making sure that we have systems for students, learners. I mean, that was key. We remember that. You understood your role by setting the tone, setting direction for the administration, the school district. We thank you for that. We look forward to the continued partnership. It was an honor for this administration. It was an honor for the board. It was an honor for this community to have you as a partner in education. Thank you again.
Thank you very much for that. Very kind.
Chris?
All right, Dr. Nieto, well, I believe...
Chris?
Yes, I'm sorry. Oh, my apologies.
I've said this to Jorge a few months ago, but on behalf of the board, I want to thank you for your time, for being such an interested, sincere, passionate professional. You're obviously very knowledgeable in education. I've depended on you many times to help advise and put some things in perspective. So for that, I thank you, and all your time that you've devoted to District 126, and the time that you've devoted to other school districts and continue to do in your career in education. So thank you very much.
Well, with that, Dr. Nieto, again, thank you so much. Being a board member is a significant commitment of volunteerism and time. So again, greatly appreciate it. I thank you for taking some time out to be with us tonight, and we're testing our technology in the district, and it worked out perfectly. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
And have a great class this evening.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. All right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. That brings us to our section for communications from staff, guests, and district residents, or public comment section. Staff, guests, and district residents may address the Board of Education during the communications from staff, guests, and district residents portion of the agenda. People have signed in. Please also be informed that comments will be limited to 3 minutes per individual. And try and give you a 30-second or so heads up if your time is still, or if your comments are still going. And first person for this evening is Larry Stevens.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Larry Stevens, and I just wanted to come in tonight and express appreciation for Mr. Cook and congratulations on your appointment and good luck to you. And I would like to thank the board for hearing me and listening to me and during the interview process. And I appreciate what you guys do. I'm going to be here constantly watching after, so be aware. This ain't the only time I'm going to talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stevens. We appreciate your interest in the candidacy for the position. Okay. Next individual signed in is George Foster.
Sorry about that. You can sit on my 3 minutes over here. I'm George Foster, resident of Winthrop Harbor. I've been here before, and I do a little bit of the video. First and foremost, I just want to congratulate the doctor on his service to the school and to the community. It's admirable. Can you hear it? Guess it's not on. Is it tying into my time? Now it's on. There we go. Thank you. Again, I want to thank the doctor for his service to the community. I had mentioned a few times before, I believe, the desire to see transparency through having these meetings and committee meetings videotaped and available to the general public. Many people work multiple shifts and cannot attend these meetings and do want to get involved. So we think for the sake of transparency and sharing with the community and giving that to the opportunity to the people, I think this is a critical step in the right direction to do that, to help people be aware so that they can see what's going on in the school, where there's money's going, and so on and so forth. So I talked with Steve Angelos. He said no problem in doing the live stream. It's just getting the okay from you guys, I guess. And while I'm up here, I want to give a shout out to Steve Angelos and his media team that put together an amazing video for Zion. I don't know how many of you have seen it, but it's just gorgeous. And there's a contest on it, so if you can find it, it's the Blooms, it's a Blooms contest that's set up through the Township and so on. It's extremely well done. He and his people did a great job. I've known Steve for years, since when he was down at the junior school in Beach Park. He interned with me for a bit on a couple of shoots, so we're both familiar with his capabilities, which are exceptional. He's an exceptional teacher and an exceptional videographer. I'd like to see more of that, to where people can go out and do more quality of life videos in the community and have his teams put that together. Comcast hits every one of us a percentage every month on our Comcast bill that's called a franchise utility fee or something like that. It just gets dumped into the general fund of each municipality. Winthrop Harbor, it's about 150 grand a year. Wadsworth, I think he said it was about 40, 45. Zion's probably much in excess to Winthrop Harbor, and who knows what Beach Park says. So if these guys were willing to put together, a percentage of that and give that to the school as a project-based grant to say, go out and do X number of videos, let's highlight our area and show the good things of our community. Thank you.
Thank you. The next name on our list is Chris Semianski.
Good evening, board members. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you once again. Since the June meeting, I've raised some concerns regarding the lack of video recordings of these sessions and the need for greater transparency for our community. I understand that implementing changes can take a little time, but I'm here tonight because the community deserves to know what steps, if any, have been taken to address this issue. As it stands, there has been no response or action, and this silence only deepens the concerns of parents, students, and citizens who wish to be more engaged in the decisions affecting our schools. Transparency is not just a request, it's a fundamental responsibility. By recording these meetings, you are not just fulfilling an obligation, but building trust within our community. It allows those who cannot attend in person to stay informed and participate in the education of their children. The continued lack of a response feels dismissive of the community's voice. Many of us rely on access to these to understand the decisions that impact our children's education. Without this access, we feel left in the dark. I urge you once again to seriously consider implementing video recordings of these meetings. If there are concerns or obstacles preventing this, I ask that you communicate them openly so we can work together to find a solution. The community is not asking for something unreasonable here. We're asking for transparency, which is the cornerstone of trust in any democratic process. I sincerely hope that you will not only listen to this request, but act on it. The community is watching, and we are eager to see progress you make on this important issue. Finally, Mr. Cook, welcome. I hope you undertake this request as your initial contribution to the board. We need your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and the last name, Ruth Davis.
Hello, thank you. I wanted to point out that there are items missing from the board packet online. This morning when I checked at 8:18, there were items missing from the packet, which included the special meeting minutes of August 15th, the personnel report, and the MOU with the ZBFT. When I looked again at 3:10 p.m., the special meeting minutes were still not attached. The personnel report had been attached, and there were 6 new FOIA requests that were attached to the packet. This is not the first time this has happened. In fact, it's been brought up at a few meetings. And at last month's meeting, Mr. Nordstrom, per the minutes, acknowledged that this has been an issue and agreed that it would be looked into and would be taken care of moving forward. So I'm just wondering when this issue is going to be fixed and we're not going to have missing items from the online packet. Also, does the Board of Ed allow administrators to work from home? If so, what board policy covers this? If not, how are you confirming that all administrators are in the building every day during student attendance times? And then also, how many administrators are receiving individual retirement contributions, including 403B contributions, besides the superintendent and the executive director of human resources and communications? In the contract for the executive director of human resources, Exhibit 1, item number 1 states, talent acquisition and retention. Develop strategies to attract top talent, streamline recruitment processes, and retain high-performing employees through competitive compensation, benefits, and career development opportunities. So why are there 9 science teachers, 4 industrial tech teachers, 3 business teachers, 2 art music teachers, and 1 EL resource teacher with overloads? Also, can you explain how this administrator is responsible for competitive compensation and benefits when that clearly is a board responsibility in negotiations with the ZBFT? Lastly, there were incorrect salaries paid to new hires last year. It was blamed on a clerical error during ongoing negotiations, and we are working with the employees relative to next steps. This is directly out of an email from the superintendent who responded to my FOIA request on July 3rd, 2024 at 4:46 p.m. There are 2 administrators in the HR office with a combined salary of over $250,000. How is it possible that these top-level administrators made such an error? However, ultimately, it's the Board of Ed's responsibility. Please see Board Policy 2:20 and 2:80. The board approved these contracts and they were signed by the board. As they are legally binding employment contracts, I hope the district is not trying to collect back pay from these staff members. Thank you.
Okay. And no names on the list for public comment. Just want to make sure there's anybody else who wishes to make public comment. Okay. All right. Thank you. We will move on to our next section, oath of office. Exciting opportunity to have another board member join us. So we will stand here in a moment. I'll ask Mr. Cook to repeat after me from oath that he's required to state. Public Act 94-0881 was enacted into law in 2006. Law requires that school board members, before taking their seats on the board, take an official oath that is in substantially the form presented below. So, like I said, we will both stand. I will repeat part of it. You will repeat it after me, and you will then become our next board member. I, Vincent Cook, do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education of Zion, Benton Township High School District 126.
I, Vincent Cook, do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education of Zion, Benton Township High School District 126.
In accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois, to the best of my ability. And I further affirm that,
in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois, to the best of my ability, I further affirm that
I shall respect taxpayer interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets.
I shall respect taxpayer interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets.
I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority as an individual and that individuals and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote at a public board meeting.
I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority as an individual and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote at a public board meeting.
And I shall abide by majority decisions of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels.
I shall abide by majority decisions of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels.
Thank you. Welcome to the board.
Congratulate you and thank your family for their support that they're going to give you when you are spending time away. That's okay. Okay. Let me get myself organized here. We will now take up the responsibility now that we have a fully complemented board, and because Dr. Nieto had been serving as our vice president, we are going to complete the process to nominate and select a vice president to serve for this term. I will read, there's some very specific processes we're going to follow here, so I will open up the floor for nominations. We will go through that process and see where it goes, and then we will vote on the nomination. So, nominations are now in order for the 2-year term of Vice President of the Board of Education of Zion Benton Township High School District 126. And in general, any member of the board may nominate any other member, and nominations do not require a second. So for example, you would just need to say, I nominate, and then just state the name of the board member that you wish to nominate for vice president. So, there's now the opportunity to nominate a member for the position of vice president. Do I hear a nomination? I'd like to nominate Chris Benitez for the position of vice president. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations for the office of vice president? Are there any other nominations for the office of vice president? Are there any other nominations for the office of vice president? Okay. If there are no further nominations, wait again. Nominations for the office of vice president are closed. So, Chris Benitez being the only candidate nominated for the office of vice president, I hereby declare that he is elected by acclamation and directs the secretary to so record in the minutes. Congratulations, Mr. Benitez. All right. Let us move on. Organization of board committees. We'll share a more kind of retyped document, but I wanted to make sure to get that business done first. So I'll just kind of verbalize some changes that I'm going to be asking members to take on as part of the participation in various committees, and then we will distribute a clean copy for everybody, both for awareness of the dates, which administrative staff members are hoping to support that committee, and there we go.
For Business Bid Finance Committee, Dr. Nieto had been serving on that committee with Ms. Champagne and me. I'm going to ask Ms. Stephen to participate in Business Bid Finance Committee. On curriculum, I'm going to, Ms. Champagne had an overload, so to speak, so I'm going to ask Mr. Cook to take a position on the curriculum committee. Long Range Planning Committee will stay unchanged. Personnel Committee, I'm going to ask Mr. Benitez to step up as to be chair of that committee, and ask Mr. Cook then to take that other position on that committee, because Mr. Benitez will be taking Dr. Nieto's position as chair. And that is the extent of the changes. So if anybody has any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we will continue to move forward with these scheduled meetings. And any questions? All right, thank you. Next item, we will move on to our consent agenda. Do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda items as presented?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Champagne, second by Ms. Stephen. Any questions or changes?
Yes.
Ms. Champagne?
I'm looking at item L, the activity positions, and there isn't anyone listed for the GSA. Is that club still active?
Yes, it is. We do have a sponsor for that. Is that not on there?
No, it's not.
Okay. I will correct that.
Okay, thank you.
But we do have a sponsor for that.
Okay.
Maybe we'll just briefly have that
Oh,
update.
wait, hold on, yeah, wait. Did you move down that list to Saga? I thought it was on there. The name has changed, but it is it's the same. So we are running the club formerly called GSA, has a new name, and it's had that name for quite some time.
So it's Saga.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, thank you.
I thought with all the other conversation about stipends and extracurriculars that things have been cleaned up.
Yeah, that threw me for a loop because I thought we really had it on that list. So, yeah, you got it.
Any other questions on those items? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Benitez?
Aye.
Ms. Champagne?
Aye.
Mr. Scott? Ms. Stephen? Aye. Mr. Cook?
Aye.
Mr. Nordstrom?
Aye. Thank you. That brings us to our superintendent's report, Dr. Rodriguez.
Thank you, President Nordstrom. I will be combined with the principal's report. So Bonnie Karen White is joining me. So far, a great opening of the school year with challenges that we have made opportunities, and students and staff doing a great job. Even though we have so many changes and construction projects and you name it, I mean, we have made great adjustments and we opened the year effectively. And I am very, very proud of the work thus far in the summer and also in opening the year. But because Ms. Persky and Mr. White will provide us with some details based on the two schools, and that will be the extent of this month's superintendent's report.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome board. Welcome new board member, Mr. Cook. This will be my first board report as the Zion Benton Township High School principal, so I have added a few extra slides tonight for your enjoyment. First things first, when I transferred over here, I've obviously been coming back here to Zion Benton. I came here in 2010 as a dean and worked in this building, spent the last 9 years across town at Zion Benton East reimagining over there, as we all know. Coming back here, though, I really had to stop and think about the vision. As a new principal, you really want to decide what's the vision for the year, what are we going to do? So, of course, we consider the board goals, our strategic plans, our missions, handbooks, all these important pieces that need to go into it. So for the last 60 days, I've been the ZB principal for about 60 days now. I've just been observing, assessing, analyzing, evaluating, just looking and watching to see what we really need here Really looking at student and staff, academic, and operational systems that we have going on here. I think some reoccurring themes have happened in the last 60 days. I've unofficially been talking with people, observing, like I said, and getting a lot of feedback. Interestingly, there's a lot of words I began with C, so that led me on my journey here of some of our concerns and some of our things we really need to work on. Really across all systems, I think some things started to emerge around compassion, communication, and just the idea of being consistent. I know that we're coming off a difficult year last year. And there's that feeling of, do we care? Are we compassionate? Are we going to be working for the students and the good of the teachers and the whole school community? So I think really, this is what I ended up with, a really nice graphic we completed here with the help of Dr. Bridge. Just this idea of a priority for me as the principal this year being focused on our culture and our climate and getting back to some humanity to one another. Compassion, lead with compassion, lead people, treat them as people. Communication needs to be clear, timely, consistent, well understood. And consistency, just having consistent practices and things that don't lead to chaos and they actually build a strong foundation. So, with that, I just wanted to highlight and give you those extra slides about me and where I want to see us going as a principal. Monthly, we'll give you updates on kind of our progress as a principal with instructional and operational updates. So, as a district, here's our strategic plan goals. We're all very familiar with these items, but this year we're taking a really special focus on chronic absenteeism because if they're not here, we cannot teach them. And obviously proficiency. We need students to show that they're growing, they can read, they can write, math. That's our areas of target areas as a district. Right here at Benton, I presented on the first day to the staff my goals for the school year, really to improve and enhance the school culture and climate is very big, obviously, and I put the words intentionally for all school community stakeholders. So I'm talking about treating people with, compassion and commitment and consistency and clear communication amongst staff, teachers, administration, students. Those words transcend all groups. But I really wanted the staff to know what my goals are. I also want to be a sense of stability, direction, providing support, delivering those clear expectations so we can begin to move in the proper direction. And I also want to empower and inspire people of the school community to be leaders and foster innovation and growth. As we did much like in Zion Benton East when we turned that place around for the last 3 years. So I think that was a fun plan. All right, so in this building, we will have an intentional focus this year on the attendance office, the advisory program, and student engagement opportunities. Attendance office, Dr. Brown and I look really forward to working with Dr. Brown, the assistant principal's office. We're going to focus on, what are the office of attendance, what's the structure, what does it look like, what are the operations, so we can really maximize our data reports and, like I said, get the students here. Advisory program, we need to do some oversight there. We need to incorporate some maybe social emotional, really maximize that program. And student engagement, like I said again, really rebuilding that ZB pride, that sense that we all want to be here and this is everybody's school. It's a community school, student school. We all want to be proud here. So we will look forward to in the monthly updates of those focus areas where you might hear from Dr. Brown as well, reporting on attendance, advisory, and student engagement. Just a couple more slides on this past few weeks. Instructional updates. I've done a lot of collaborating with the academic team of executive directors. Completed schedules. We started the school year with schedules for students, for staff. That went smooth. Dr. DeGangi's really in full swing with ACT planning and our first assessment day, September 11th. We are working on the coordination of our student supports and making sure we really get the MTSS new area that we have up and running to serve students. And then technology is rolling out, and that's in progress. Our ninth graders now have the Apple devices, so that's rolling as well. So a lot of things happening in our instructional world. And then our operational updates. Again, a lot of collaborating with our operational executive directors. Ongoing evaluations of our safety protocols has been first and foremost as we started the school year. We're really looking at the student entry, exit, the parking lots, monitoring students in our morning supervision, and just really getting our system safe and functional, first and foremost. Our SRO's been here, present, been a positive effect on school climate. Maintenance department has been unbelievable getting our classrooms ready. Transportation food service has been awesome, rolling smooth. And again, attendance office is functioning. We're sending out messages right from the beginning of the year about attendance matters and getting students to school. So those are our instructional and operational, and I'll just end with our celebrations where we welcomed our class of 2028 there on freshman zero day. They sat attentively, getting their iPads ready. We clapped them in. It was really just a great day for them, and I'm really excited about that class of 28 coming in and getting it done. So a lot of things to celebrate, but thank you for listening to my Zion Benton first report as principal. I will now turn it over to Mr. Kevin Weiland, the new principal at Zion Benton East.
Thank you, Ms. Belsky. Thank you, Board of Education. I am thrilled to report that Zion Benton East is off to a fantastic start for the 24-25 school year. Our teachers returned to campus August 12th and 13th, and we focused on the same themes that Ms. Belsky mentioned. It's a district-wide initiative. Our focus is on the themes of compassion, communication, and consistency. These are three pillars that will guide our efforts to positively influence the culture and climate at Zion Benton East. And the very next day, we welcomed the class of 2028 with the traditional clap-in, with lots of music outside. The students were coming in and cheering, setting a positive tone for their next 4 years with us. And the day was filled with activities to help our new students acclimate to their new school environment, and they had the opportunity to explore the various clubs and sports available as well. From the moment students entered the building at 7:05 a.m. on August 15th, the entire staff was busy making meaningful connections with students. We've been greeting them in the hallways, engaging in get-to-know-you activities, and introducing them to all the exciting curriculum they'll be exploring throughout the year. As the new principal, I've had the honor to get to know our incredible ZBE student body. In just the first 5 days, I visited over 25 classrooms, spent time in the hallways, cafeteria, and by the buses during arrival and dismissal, and I've consistently heard from students how much they love ZB East, especially the strong connections that they make with staff and peers. The family atmosphere in our small school is something we all cherish. We also held our first school assembly since before the COVID-19 pandemic on August 23rd and 26th, where we introduced our new counseling staff and discussed important topics like school safety, a wide range of clubs and athletic opportunities that are available for them, and key aspects of our student code of conduct. At the assembly, we also introduced our new mantra, which has themes that the whole district is behind. You're an important member of our ZBE family. We tell this to students every day. This is a school where choices matter. And when we say choices matter, we mean everything, right? Attendance matters. So that's a big campaign that we're having in our district, where attendance is core. Attendance is key. We need students here in our building. But every choice that those students make is a step in the right way. A positive choice is a positive choice in the direction of their future. And we emphasize that students have choices to make and consequences, whether they are bad or good ones. So when we're talking about code of conduct, we talk about the choices that they make. Their passion matters because we want students to bring passion every day at what they do when they walk into the building, right? They're ready to learn, they come to class, they're listening to their teachers, and bring the same passion that they might bring to the athletic field or on the stage if they're in performance to the classroom. Their passion matters. And for just like our 721 campaign, their future matters, right? We want students, our freshmen, to come in. They might have no idea what's in store for themselves. They have no idea what their potential is. But I emphasize this to students every day, that our entire staff is thinking about their future every day. and that we're wondering what is going to become of them, what positive things we can unlock for their future. Their future matters. At our assembly, we kind of reinforced this new mantra at Zion Benton East. I unleashed a cheer. I think it's important for students to kind of have some spirit and get excited about coming to school. Not everything that students learn is in the classroom, so we want to really emphasize the importance of students getting excited about school. If we can turn down the volume, because we're going to hear a lot of cheering right now, and I'm going to blast everyone here. Already tested. Here we go. So we are very excited about the year ahead and look forward to continuing to build a supportive and dynamic learning community at Zion Benton East. Thank you very much.
So for the first 4 years, we, as an administration, we had a strong focus on a strategic plan for improvement with a focus on living a mission, ambition, focus on results. So we had the ability to show some numbers, we had the ability to show in operational and instructional leadership, a great deal of improvement for our school district. Now, as we move forward in the next 3 years, and as we move forward with the new strategic plan, the emphasis lies in leading change, managing systems change. So that is the standard that we will be addressing as an administration. That is the focus, along with the other 6 standards for administrators. The idea of systems of learning for adults and children, with an emphasis on technology integration, is where the district is moving forward. We know that our strategic plan is coming to an end. We're looking forward to a new one. But we're very proud of those benchmarks that we established, and we're very proud of the results. In a couple of months, you will see the report card, where you will see again and find the results from 2019 to 2024, which are again something to admire. And when that time comes, we will have those discussions, but I am so proud of the teachers, the staff, students, the direction set by the Board of Education, and also the work of our administrators in making sure that we focus on results, that we have a return on the investment, that we look at systems where we address issues of high cost, low impact, cost benefit analysis for our school district. So again, Board of Education and Public, the next 3 to 5 years in this pathway to proficiency with systems of learning for adults and children, with an emphasis on technology, will create all of those new opportunities that we need in our community. So thank you, principals, thank you, board, and that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you. Any questions for Dr. Rodriguez or our principals? Go ahead. Mr. Benton.
When I came to the freshman day for both schools, students looked happy, excited about coming to school. So I just want to applaud you both for doing, and your staff for doing an awesome job welcoming our freshman class.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, thank you. Next item, board committee reports. This is the Finance Committee, that will be from me. The Finance met on August 20th. We had conversation and presentations around an update on the pending IMC Music and Art Classroom Renovation Project, the 2024-2025 tentative budget update, and the CEJA grant update that included an update on how the 2025 allocation of those funds will be handled by the state. And it also included some conversation affirming that we'll work with, over the next couple of months, with and in support of Zion officials to adjust the allocation of the funds and to provide property tax abatements when that agreement can be reached. So, in addition, we also talked about our general capital improvements update, including the work that's being done and has been done behind here for our MTSS and other spaces. Any questions for me? All right, thank you. Moving on. New business, ZBTHS club name change, my brother's keeper.
Thank you. I just want to take a few minutes as I recommended a name change for one of our long-standing clubs, the Brotherhood of Extraordinary Young Men. It's been a club in the district in both campuses for quite some time. We've evolved. We have a new sponsor, Mr. John Berkeley. And with that name change is a partnership with My Brother's Keeper, which is a national kind of organization that was spearheaded many years ago by President Obama. Because of the name change, I just wanted to affirm for both the community and the board that foundational principles of what the Brotherhood of Extraordinary Young Men was built on, which was a space for our young men, particularly young men of color, to have a space to be mentored, to be themselves, and to find meaning and inspiration in what they do here as a support system. That is the foundation of My Brother's Keeper as well. So we're very excited to see the transition as it's kind of been growing. Again, wanted to, along with just a piece of paper that recommends the official name change from the board, that you had some context and if you have questions, be willing to answer them. Because I don't want people to think that what the initial principles and success that we had with the club is going away. It's not, and in fact, I think it's going to be enhanced. So with that, I do foresee some similar types of, a similar change possibly happening at the Zion Benton East camp. But until that kind of gains a little bit momentum and I work with that sponsor over there, it'll still be the Brotherhood of Extraordinary Young Men. So, okay, so with that, I'm kind of finished with at least articulating where that comes from. But if you have any questions before the
Let me get a motion and a second to officially make the name change. So I have a motion to accept the recommendation to change the ZBTHS club name from Brotherhood of Extraordinary Men to My Brother's Keeper as presented. Motion by Mr. Benitez, second by Mr. Benitez? Yes. Okay. Second by Ms. Champagne. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Ms. Champagne?
Aye.
Mr. Scott?
Aye.
Ms. Stevens? Aye. Mr. Cook?
Aye.
Mr. Benitez?
Aye.
Mr. Nordstrom?
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Our next item, 2024-25 District Crisis Plan.
Mr. Hernandez will join us for this quick report. But the idea of having a core value where we value a safe and secure working and learning environment is something that we take very seriously. It is a priority for our school district. But in this process, with our new Executive Director of Safety and Security, he's charged with the work of engaging in a personal development model of a start-stop continuum. To look at our practices, to spend a whole year working in collaboration with the safety committee, administrators, students, staff, in making sure that we implement our current crisis plan. We're following the same crisis plan that we had before. We made some minor changes to it, but it's the same crisis plan. But he's also looking into adopting new ideas, new systems, collaborating with other school districts. So we have already engaged in that work of collaborating with other school districts So Mr. Hernandez will talk about what we have done, what he has done this year, joining us. And I just want you to know that as we move forward, this entire year, we are going to look at things that we are doing well. We are going to look at things that we need to continue to do, things that we should start doing, and things that we should stop doing as it relates to safety and security. So I'm very, very happy with the work thus far and the learning that, based on the experience of Mr. Hernandez. And with you, we'll talk about our crisis plan for this year.
Welcome. Thank you. Good evening, board. Good evening, community members, and the rest of the administration. Thank you for the opportunity for having me up here. I really do appreciate it. I would like to first and foremost echo the superintendent's remarks regarding safety. And I want to know that that is truly a priority for me. And although we are using the same crisis plan, it is a great foundation, it's a very comprehensive plan that has been set in place. And with that being said, it is also a living document, right? This is something that throughout the year, and I've only been here for a short period of time. My employment year started on the 1st of July. And there's a lot of work ahead of us. But I want you to know that I will be looking at different plans like the superintendent stated previously. And some things maybe can we improve on? Sure. And I'll be looking at those and making those assessments, and hopefully in collaboration with everyone here, we can make some positive changes, hopefully, if they need to be done. So this is basically just a review. The only changes that have been made to this crisis plan have really been just updates regarding some name changes and date changes at this point. The crisis plan that began like I stated, it is a comprehensive plan. It's a great foundation, and I presented this to our staff here, the administration that is currently present here at our retreat. I've also had the opportunity to present it to the new teachers and the staff during Teacher Institute Day. And my plan is to continue to work with the staff, administration, as well as the students, because they also have a part of this plan. Together, I think this is something that will be beneficial for the entire school district, for the community. I think it's something that they will embrace. And other than that, if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer anything for you.
Let me get a motion on the floor first. Do we have a motion to accept the superintendent's recommendation to approve the 2024-25 district crisis plan as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Champagne, second by Mr. Hernandez. Now, any questions? In the process that you'll go through, you say you've been here a couple of months now, and you said a strong foundation. What process do you expect to follow that will, how will you engage staff and students? How will you see getting staff and students to be able to suggest other changes or areas for improvement?
And I think that's a challenge, right? Sometimes too many people in the pot, it makes it difficult. But what I would like to do, based on what we have, and it's a good plan, right? And that's why it's something that's being used currently, and it's going to be continuing to be used this current year as well. Getting feedback from the students, the community, our administration, in my opinion, is successful. Doesn't mean that everything that everyone says gets into a plan, not necessarily, because there's a lot of research that I have to do, look at other crisis plans, what other school districts are doing nationwide, what's happening in Lake County, what's happening in the state of Illinois. These are all things that I have to take into consideration, and also look at, well, is this something that's going to work here, right? But even some of the simple things that we've been doing, for example, here in the school with respect to drop-off, student pickup, I've been in plenty of conversations with school principals, vice assistant principals. How can we make this better? Getting their input, right? They've been here, they have that institutional knowledge. They understand the community, they know how things work. Getting their feedback is important to me, as opposed to me just saying, this is how we're going to do something and just implement it. So yeah, gathering everyone's input, super important to me, and I think that it's the proper procedure to move forward.
Thank you. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Scott? Ms. Stevens? Aye. Mr. Cook?
Aye.
Mr. Benitez? Ms. Champagne? Aye. Mr. Nordstrom?
Aye. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right, that brings us to other business. Capital improvements update. Dr. Wilkinson.
Thank you, President Nordstrom and Board of Education. Just wanted to bring you up to date where we are on the Phase 2 MTSS and partial IMC renovations. You can see from some of the photos there are actually our area, the MTSS area. The first slide there shows you what that area looks like. Then we have our two right in this area over here. We have two brand new study halls that each holds 100 students. Has a dividing wall down the center. Can hold 50 on each side. We have some classroom updates. The slide on the top right, on the end there, is our new peace room area. Down on the bottom row there, the first slide, you can see that's our library. Our new library area has been renovated. We have eliminated many discipline issues by enclosing that area in glass and safety issues. So, as it says, partial IMC, we're planning to do the next phase of summer work to completely renovate the entire library area at both this campus and the Zion East campus next summer. The next two slides on the bottom there shows you our new bleachers that are being constructed right now. I think we have another week or so, and those will be fully installed and operational. And then the last slide there, we did put up a plaque in the hall area down here, or actually right over here, dedicating that area. I'm pleased to announce that the project came under budget, or actually ahead of schedule. The board, you may recall, we had anticipated holding the IMC, now we call it the library, until the end of September to open it in early October. We will be coming back after Labor Day, and they will be returning the books and having the library open the second week of September, so a couple weeks ahead of schedule, so we're really pleased about that. We did have some doors that were back ordered due to supply chain, so we have temporary doors up, and those will be changed out as we get closer to the end of September. Otherwise, a very successful project, and another great addition and investment in this campus, in this community for our students and community members. So we're really proud of it, and if there's any questions, I can answer that about this project, but I'd like to talk to you about what's coming up next.
Any questions for Dr. Wilkinson on this part of the update? Okay.
So what we have coming up next, what I'll call Phase 3, our 2025 summer renovations. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to completely renovate the interior areas with the new furniture, carpeting, lighting, the ZB library and the ZB East libraries. We'll all see new fixtures in terms of furniture, ceiling tile, lighting, just a complete overhaul of those two spaces. We're also bringing our music and art classrooms up to 21st century standards. So our design team has been working. We presented to the BBF committee just last week and gave them kind of a preview of what's to come. But we will be transforming those areas similar to the areas like we did at MTSS and as I say, in the partial area of the IMC. So those, what we plan to do is to get those bids out on the street in late September and bring them back to you in October, and then with a potential award of the project in November. That way we get it out early so that contractors can bid on it competitively and get everything put into place by November to plan for the construction next summer. The projects typically only last the summer, but due to the magnitude and the area square footage that we'll be renovating, we will be running this project for 8 months. So what that means is when we come back next year to start off the school year, we will locate art and music for the first semester. And so that construction will run all the way till winter break. And then when the students come back at winter break, we'll reopen the art and the new music 21st century spots. Felt it was imperative, rather than starting early, like if you recall this MTSS project, we started in January and then ended in the summer, going the exact opposite way. We learned that it's better with the walls and structural things. We have the jackhammer and things like that to be less disruptive. We'll do that over the summer. So really looking forward to that project. So there'll be more information coming your way about that. We also, as you recall, did receive a rebate from the Environmental Protection Agency to purchase 2 electric buses. Those buses have been ordered. We're currently working on some charging stations dedicated just to those 2 buses. The planning for the entire fleet will happen this year in terms of the design and those types of activities. And we're looking to do the charging stations the summer of 2026. And at the same time, we also are also looking at a facilities master plan for Zion Benton and Zion Benton East. We've come to kind of a crossroads in this district. We've done, over the last year, $50 million plus in renovations, and so we need to really sit down and map out what we're going to look like 10 years from now. And so we're going to work closely with our architect and construction manager, look at the spaces that we haven't touched yet, and how we're going to phase that out and get those completed over the next 10 years. So it's basically going to complement your strategic plan that you're working on, that we have coming up, and then how we can weave that portion of facility enhancements and investments in the facilities over the next decade. So we're excited about that. We're bringing more to the ADF committee in September about that, kind of a roadmap, a plan of how we're going to gather feedback and have the open houses and public forums to get input from the community about the projects that we have planned for the future. And so again, to complement your strategic plan, so we have a guide, a roadmap to the strategic plan from the facilities and infrastructure perspective. And that goes again with the classroom renovations, like the areas that we haven't touched. We want to make sure that we get everything in a plan so that it can lead you down the next 10 years. So with that said, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Dr. Williamson? Okay. Dr. Rodriguez?
Thank you, Dr. Wilkinson, for the great work on these projects. But I also must say, we spoke about these ideas years ago. The idea of music, art, IMC, library. And I am so proud of our music program. I am so proud of the conversations we had years ago and how we have grown so much and the quality is evident. So it's time to make that investment as we promised back in the day. But in moving forward, it's important that we engage in a facilities master plan that is aligned with the budget, where we engage the board, administration, faculty, staff, community. We envision town hall meetings. So just want you to know, President Nordstrom, today I met with the architects and the construction managers, and when we spoke to the BPF, we had the same message. We need a facilities master plan. We need to rethink and engage and re-engage ourselves in creating 21st century classrooms and doing it in a way that is fiscally responsible.
Thank you. All right. That brings us to our closed session. So, do I have a motion to go into closed session for consideration of appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, and collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Champagne, second by Mr. Scott. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please. Thank you. We will adjourn the closed session.